if you got money ready and you prepared thoroughly for this journey, you can be in the United Kingdom in 2 to 3 months, period. Sanibonani bantase. My name is Unomakaya K. Munaheng. I'm a registered nurse from South Africa who recently immigrated to the United Kingdom, and I'm also a registered nurse here in the United Kingdom as well. On my channel so far, I've shared my journey of all the people that I've spent time with after I told them that we are immigrating to the United Kingdom. And I also like to take this time to say thank you very much to them. And now I want to share my journey here in the United Kingdom, but it will be selfish of me that I do not share how I came about immigrating to the United Kingdom. And since I've been sharing my videos, a lot of people have been coming to my inbox and asking how did I do it. They're also in the process, this is where they are stuck and so forth. So today I'll be sharing how I immigrated, as well as how much I've spent through this whole process, as well as tips and tricks of what to do when you start your own journey. And I hope that from what I'll be sharing, you also pick up some tips in terms of how to make your process faster, because I believe that you can come to the United Kingdom in like 2 to 3 months, provided that you have all your finances ready and all your papers ready for immigration. You will notice that I've got a notebook. So the notebook has all the information that I'll be sharing in terms of the date, the step by step, as well as the money that I've spent for me to relocate to the United Kingdom. So do not mind me as I keep on referring now and then. My journey into relocating to another country for work and for career growth and so forth, and for financial reasons, started back in 2017. 2017, I was interested in moving to Saudi Arabia. As you know, back then, even now, there's a lot of nurses that go and work in Saudi and still come back home after a couple of years. As you know that the benefits are there, whatever money that you get is tax-free and, right? So back in 2017, I too started my journey of wanting to go to Saudi Arabia with the IMMIGRATED recruitment agency. They came to South Africa to conduct the interviews, but after the interviews and everything went well, it didn't make any sense. So we just scrapped it off, and then we just continued with our lives. And then in 2022, we had a couple that came to our ward at church, and at the time I was the Relief Society president. As a president, when new people come in, I will go introduce myself, make them feel welcome into the ward, right? And then there's this special sister that came. Her name is Sister George. So when she came to our ward, we exchanged numbers, found out where she's staying and so forth, so that we can figure out who are her ministering sisters. So as they came, during the week, she sent me a message, a WhatsApp text to say, can I please ask you a question? Do you know where I get taxis to, I think, Bedford View or something? Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll find out for you. And then I found out for her, texted her back, and then she said, no, there's an English exam that I need to do, you know. Please pray for me. Please pray for me that I pass. I'm like, okay, it's good. I can pray for you. And if I'm not mistaken, we did fast on that weekend for her to pass the test, right? Fine. Okay, she went for a test, and then she came back. When she came back, I think before the results came in, we saw each other at church the Sunday. That's when she told me about why she needed to go for that exam. And then she shared about the United Kingdom and going in as a senior healthcare worker. So at the time, yes, I was interested. I went back to Hybe and told her, do you know that Sister George, the sister that just came into the ward, she told me about this. Then my husband and I, we started going on YouTube, on Google, just to research about it, you know. And then a couple of days later, she was like, hi sis, by the way, I've got my results, I've passed, and with good marks. I'm like, oh, congratulations, we're so happy for you. And then I took her out. I'm like, okay, let's go celebrate, let's go buy waffles. We went to buy waffles, and then she shared more about the journey to the United Kingdom. After the waffles with Sister George, I thought, no man, let me start my journey. This route, it's there. people are moving to the United Kingdom as nurses, as healthcare workers, as senior healthcare workers. Let me research more. So my first step was to do the IELTS, which is an English exam, English test. So I decided to do IELTS, which is the English test. And I also advise everyone who wants to start this journey to say, start with your IELTS exam, because the nursing and midwifery council is very specific about what they want, right? They want level 7 in speaking, listening, and reading. And then they also want 6.5 in writing. So don't start with getting a job. I would say that getting a job is the easiest part, because we're also not on the red list. So getting a job is easy, but your employer will still tell you, if you want to practice as a nurse, at least start with the NMC process before you leave your own country, so that when you get there, when you get here, the only thing that you need to go for is your OSCE, right? And it makes sense. So I started with my IELTS exam, and then on that night, I still remember at 11 p.m. I booked for my IELTS. The IELTS exam cost me 4,900. You have to book for the UKVI academic, right? That's what NMC wants. And then for your visa, they will also need that UKVI. So I booked my IELTS. I booked it for the 19th of April. 19th of April, I went in for my speaking. So it's divided into those 4 sections. So you do your speaking first, you go in, and then you have to practice. So with me, I practice with YouTube. I'll also share here on the screen the people that I followed, all the tips. So what is important is for you to get the basics, because the topics that you might find might be different from the topics that the person on YouTube is simulating. So just get the basic to say, when you're speaking, this is what you need to concentrate in. When you're writing, when you're listening, when you're reading, concentrate on these basics, right? So definitely follow these people. And then on the 19th, I went in for my speaking. After I was done with my speaking, 2 days later, on the 21st, I went to do the other 3 sections. I must say that it was tiring. It was tiring, because my exam was booked for 1 p.m. and we only started writing at 3 p.m. because they had things that they needed to sort out, the registration and so forth. It took time. And then I finished the exam around 6. I think I only went home at 7, because after you finish your exam, you still have to wait so that they can confirm that it's you. So with the academic, it's very specific. There's cameras in the room that are looking at each and every corner, so everything is strict. So you go in with your passport, you check in, and then as you go out again, you must also produce your passport, and they confirm it's the same one as the picture that they took earlier that day. So most maybe with the bathroom breaks, you might exchange with someone to come and write the exam for you. So it's very, very, very strict. So after that, I went back home. A week later, then I started searching for agencies. Now I looked for agencies, and then I found a couple of agencies, and I sent in my emails. And some of the agencies, you might find them on Indeed, you might find them on the NHS website, right? And then I sent my CVs, and then some of them reply. They don't take long to reply, and then they told me, no, because you are out of practice, we can't accept you at this time and moment. Because remember, I was now working as a medical rep, so I was outside bedside nursing. And then there's an agency that replied, which is MMA, right? So I registered with them, and then they replied, right? After they replied, they will tell you step by step. As you go into the website, they ask for all the information that they want, and then you send it through. And then on the 1st of May, I went into the NMC website. NMC is the Nursing and Midwifery Council, which is similar to SANC back in South Africa. I went into their website, and then I just read and to see what is the process of registering them as a person who trained outside the United Kingdom. So with the NMC, they will want you to submit your certificates. You remember the certificate that you get after you qualify, that says ComServe, the certificate of registration. You submit that certificate. The second one is your certificate of registration now as a nurse, right? I submitted that qualification. And then I also submitted my diploma. I did a D4. So I also submitted my diploma. And then after you submit all those things, they do the eligibility and qualification application. So it's for the SANC to confirm that yes, we do know this person, and yes, this is the qualification that we have on the system, and they are qualified to practice as a nurse, right? And for that evaluation, it's £140, and at the time it was equivalent to 2,883. So that is the second amount after the IELTS. On the 3rd of May, the agency sent me a job interest to say, are you interested in this job? There's an employer that is looking for nurses to work as registered nurses in their care home. Yeah? Okay. Thought about it, like, let me read about care homes and let me read about this employer, and then I'll get back to you. The next day, it was the 4th, I went to apply for my police clearance. Your police clearance is needed by the NMC as well as your visa application, right? So as I was doing my registration, I noticed that the next step will be the police clearance. That's why I went to do it. So police clearance cost 160 rands, and then you go to your nearest police station, submit your fingerprints, and then they send your application to Pretoria. That's where they do the testings, right? So because when you submit it at your nearest police station, they wait for the forms to reach a certain amount before they courier them to Pretoria. I thought that it was a good idea that I go directly to the offices and submit my papers there. So I went to Pretoria, did my fingerprints in the police station there in Pretoria, and then I went in to submit. So it's a different building that takes the applications, and they close at 10 at night. By law, they're supposed to work 24 hours, but because the building where they work from, they close at 10, so they also close at 10. But it's good compared to your normal office hours, and they do work until 10 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Then after my police clearance, the next day I replied to the agent to say, yeah, it's fine, you can put through my CV. Let's see how it goes. Yeah? And then it was quiet. And then on the 14th, SAPS replied to say that we've received your police clearance application, and I think the reference number as well for you to track it. You also get it on that SMS. So you are able to track your police clearance. I'll share the website somewhere here where you go exactly to track it. Then the employer replied that they're impressed with my CV and they would like to interview me. My interview was booked for the 23rd of May. Fine. From there, it was just research. Yeah. And then from there, I was waiting for my interview day. And then on the 23rd, the interview happened. They ask you, tell us about yourself, scenarios, a moment in your life where you went over and above your nursing duties, scenarios to say how do you deal with the conflict at work and so forth, you know. Sure, guys, let me take a sip. You okay? Will let your agency know that you've got the job or you didn't make it. And then on the 24th, they send me that congratulations message. You've made it. The employer is happy and also want to know your progress when it comes to your NMC registration. So I told them where I was at the time. How? Police clearance, they are quiet. I need my police clearance in order to proceed to the next step in the NMC. Without the police clearance, you can't proceed. So on the 26th of May, I sent them an email to say, hello guys, can you please put my application as a priority because I need it for immigration purposes. And then that was the advice that I received from the call center to say, send them an email and ask them that they prioritize your application. Fine. I waited. And now I'm also worried to say that the last time I spoke with the SANC people was on the 1st when I was registering with the NMC. I called my friend V, who's in Saudi, to say, V, please tell me something. When SANC needs to verify my qualification, what is it that I need to do? Hey, guys. She's like, no, you need to pay an amount. I'm like, pay an amount? She's like, you need to pay. So I'm like, okay, fine, let me call SANC myself and just find out what's the amount. When I call SANC, I'm like, hi SANC, what is happening with my application? NMC has sent the link for you to verify me. What's happening? They're like, you're supposed to pay an amount of 2,216 for us to verify you. So if I knew at the time, I would have paid it immediately. So I waited a whole month because they were quiet. I didn't know what to do. So that is another tip, guys. As soon as you're done with your NMC evaluation fee, call SANC immediately and tell them, please wait for an email that is coming with your details, and please verify as soon as you get it. So as soon as they get it in the email also, they'll go and verify as soon as you also send your proof of payment. Anyway, that's a tip for you guys. And then I paid that amount, and then on the 30th, they received the finance people to say that they found my payment and they verified me. Yeah, and then on the 30th, Mrs. S, I'll call her Mrs. S, who's the admin officer in the foreign department there by SANC, replied and said, I've just done your verification and all your best in your career. And then, yeah, now it's a waiting game. What are we waiting for? Police clearance. Yo. So after the NMC received my verification, they will also send you an email to say that you are verified. You need to wait 14 days, plus minus 14 days for your CBT invite, right? That was now on the 1st of June. On the 2nd of June, I then went to my GP to get a medical report that says I'm medically fit and it's valid for 6 months. So this also forms part of the things that the NMC needs. They need to see that you are fit to practice as a nurse, and your GP needs to sign you off on that one. So on the 2nd of June, I did that. And then, so on the 9th of June, then I got my NMC invite for the CBT exam. CBT exam, it's there to test your competency. You must learn about the domains, your professional values, how to calculate the medication, and so forth, and different scenarios that you're going to get in the CBT exam. So a CBT exam is divided into two. You do the numeracy part where you'll be calculating the medications, and also you do the exam for the clinical part. So the clinical part, it's multiple choice. You must go through it. So to prepare for my CBT, I joined an Everton's group that is on Telegram, and then Telegram has almost all the information that you need. So you go in there, other people are also practicing, other people are also preparing for the exam, so you also get to learn from them. And you can also practice your CBT. Search on YouTube. YouTube also has people that are also discussing the questionnaires and the answer, right? Yeah, so after receiving my invite, I booked my exam for the 21st of June, and it cost me 83 pounds, which was equivalent to 1,128 rands. Fine. So leave the CBT out of the way. And then on the 14th of June, SAPS replied. When they replied, they're like, sorry, this office, if you want your application to be priority, you must send us your job offer or your school admission. Guys, how many days has it been since my last email? Anyways, I then went to my agency to tell them I need a job offer, right? They haven't given me the job offers yet. So they sent through the job offer. I sent in my job offer. Yo, on the 21st, then I went in for my CBT. So CBT, it's about 200 minutes. You do your clinical and your numeracy, like I said, and then you do it there by Senton. I booked mine in Senton. So I went in. It's a nice place. You're in your own corner. You have your own computer here. You also have your calculator. You do it for 200 minutes. After that 200 minutes, you then go out. As you walk out, they give you your results. Guys, yo. Yo. As you walk out, you get your results, right? So they fold them nicely in a paper and they give them to you. So Habi had taken me there. I took the results as they are. I went outside. I don't know if I still have a picture where I was holding them, but I didn't open those results because I was scared. Yeah? Right. Then Habi came. They were there by Mandela Square with the kids, and then they came. So as soon as he parked, I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen my results. Please check if I passed, because you get your results immediately. I gave them to him. And then he opened them. And then said, baby, you passed. I'm like, who am I? Who is this? Who is this? Me. I am Nightingale. Nightingale is me. Yo. So now I was happy with I've passed my CBT, but I still can't progress with my NMC registration because why? I'm waiting for my police clearance. Remember, I replied to these people on the 15th of June to say that here's my job offer. Anyways, on the 22nd, a day after my CBT exam, then the police clearance department, they replied and said, your police clearance is ready. Guys, I did not wait. Same day, remember I told you they close at 10. Same day I drove to Pretoria to go pick up my police clearance because I need to scan it. I need to progress now with my registration. I think we got there at 8. So I got my police clearance, then we went back home. And then immediately I booked for my TB test because manje, there is progress. A TB test is also needed for you to come to the United Kingdom. And it's also valid for how long? 6 months. So that's why then I only booked it at the later stage. Right? I booked my TB test for the 27th of June. Finally, TB test cost 2,500. After the NMC uploaded and received my CBT exams, then the agency advised me to also pay for the registration before I even come to the United Kingdom. So the registration amount was £153, which was equivalent to 3,096 Rand. So I will add that up for you. Immediately when you submit now for your NMC registration, your GP also gets an email where they need to confirm that you're medically fit, right? The first one was the report, so that it's in the file with all my applications to this employer. But now the GP already knows me because I came forward for my medical report initially. So when they get the email, the next day call them and say, GP, remember I told you that you must await for this link from the NMC. The link should be in. Please look out for it. So also when you go online and check there on the NMC, it will let you know that it's waiting for your medical report. It's in process or they've sent it. Fine. And then my GP then confirmed, and then it's a tick. We now go to the next step. Okay? And then on the 24th of June, then my agency, we're now discussing me submitting my resignation to say when exactly can I resign. And around this time, the agents also want to submit your file to the employer so that they can also give you what? Your contract. So we discussed all those details, and then on the 27th of June, I went in for my TB test. So when you do your TB test, you go in there, come in earlier if you want to, because the earlier the better. You go in, the first step, you go in for your registration for your TB test to say that I've arrived, I'm here, and then you go in and then you register. After you register, you take your picture, you then go to see the GP. The GP then will send you to the X-ray department. After the X-ray department, you go and wait for your results. Then your results will come in. As your results come in, Kena, you go and collect, and then you check your details that everything that's on there is correct. If it's correct, your doctor signs you off and you take your TB test certificate home. Fine. All is good. Now it's promising, pay like my TB test is in, my NMC is in, my police clearance is in. Now they can submit to the employer. Now we can now talk about location, where do you want to go, and also we can talk about my start date. Yeah, then from there, the biggest one now, it's your certificate of sponsorship. It's more like your work permit, right? So on the 30th of June, the employer went on to apply for the certificate of sponsorship. After my COS was in, then the employer came through with my contract, as well as finalizing my resignation period and my start date as well, you know. So on the 25th of July, I then received my contract, and then on the contract it's already stating my start date, which was supposed to be the 21st of September. Ne? Yeah. And then as we are waiting, my COS arrived on the 2nd of August. So with a COS, it's very tricky, guys. Some employers have COS ready. I don't know how. Other people get their COS ready as soon as they're done and pass the interview, they get their COS. Other people it takes weeks. Other people it takes 3 weeks or so forth. Other people it takes months because they go and apply for it. On the 4th of August, the agency booked for my visa. So the agency is also the one that takes care of my visa fee. And at the time it was, visa was 5,189. This is a skilled workers visa that we are applying for. So my application went in. I booked it for the 8th of August, just before Women's Day. And then I went in. I did all that they need to do, your biometrics, your fingerprints. You take all the documents that they say that you must bring with you. And then it's a waiting game. Because this was also a time where, what was happening? I think this was also a time, oh yes. So this was a time when the Ukraine war was big and a lot of Ukrainians were coming into the United Kingdom. So they had to prioritize them. And at the same time, our applications, we were told that they were going to be delayed. But mine came in 9 days. On the system, it does say that it takes 15 working days for you to get that FICNet on. But mine came after 8 days. When the visa came in, I went to the agency to say that my start date is on the 21st of September. So can it be earlier than that? Remember now, I've also started to serve my notice. Sorry, I didn't mention that part. From the 1st to the 31st of August, I was serving my notice, right? So when my visa then came in on the 19th, I then asked them to say that, so can they move my start date closer? So the agency said, no, I'll speak to your employer and I'll let you know. They spoke to the employer and the employer said, no, it's fine. If you have accommodation for this person, definitely they can come anytime. We can book the flights anytime. So now it was the accommodation. So the accommodation, it was also a struggle. Getting an accommodation around that time was a bit tricky because schools start in September. So there was an influx of students that are coming in the country. Also, the houses that were available at the time were minimal. But then, eventually. So the initial accommodation that I got said that I must arrive on the 30th of September. That's when it's going to be available. So now I can't come earlier than the 21st, which is why, remember on one of my videos, my dad was saying that I was supposed to leave on a Thursday. This is how the Thursday night now comes in. The employer said, if you can find accommodation now, you can come anytime. So the agency said, if you have a confirmed accommodation, or if you get something on our side, we can book your flight for next week Thursday. So the accommodation didn't happen. Guys, everything happens at its own time, you know. My accommodation was confirmed for the 30th of September. On the 15th, they booked my flight. I didn't pay for that. It's part of the benefit. 30th of September, I arrived, and then they gave me a couple of days to settle, to find my feet, to find my way to get to work. So that is my journey, guys. That's how I found myself in the United Kingdom. And I hope and pray that you've got a lot of tips and tricks from this, to say that for example, after you pay for your NMC evaluation, also pay SANC to verify you immediately. Do your police clearance on time, but I know that they've improved. I think now it takes about 3 weeks, but with me at the time, the reason of the delay, it was after the backlog of the backlog from COVID-19, and there was also that program that was happening with teachers where they were employing them in something, so they needed to, no, not the teachers, the school assistants that they were having at the time, so they needed to do a police clearance. So there was also that backlog that they had to deal with. That is why my police clearance took long. But my advice would be, when you go and submit your police clearance, also submit your job offer with it, and then it's going to be quicker that way. I think it might take a week. So my advice, start with your IELTS exam. Do that one first, because you know, as soon as you pass it, you can proceed. Don't find a job and then you fail your IELTS exam, and then you need to explain to employer to say that I can't come at the moment. Because if you said you want to come as a nurse, you must start your process from South Africa, and then after your IELTS, then go for your police clearance, then go for your TB, do your CBTs and everything that you need to do. So all in all, I'm still saying that if you got money ready and you prepared thoroughly for this journey, you can be in the United Kingdom in 2 to 3 months, period. That is how I immigrated to the United Kingdom. I hope and pray that you've also found your tips and tricks. And for me, this was my journey, and this was my season, and this is how everything happened for me, with all the delays that were happening, the police clearance and so forth. I just kept on going, and I always remembered my why, over and above my why. You see the 4,900 I paid for the IELTS, there was no going back. There was no going back. There's no I can pay such an amount to prove. Anyway, everyone has their own season, and we're also coming from different parts, which is something that I wanted to show in my channel, to say that there's a lot that we sacrifice for us to immigrate, and there's we've got family that we are leaving behind, we've got jobs that we had from back home, we have a lot of things, support system. We are coming to a new country where they don't even know you, where you don't even know where you're gonna sleep. So which is what I hope that my channel will also give you that courage to say that I've been scared, there are other people who are doing it, I too can do it. And I also hope and pray that I'll also meet a lot of South Africans that are already here in the United Kingdom, who we can chat about some of the things that I'm still also trying to figure out. If you have any questions, you can put them down below. I can try to answer. For example, other people are not doing the IELTS exam, they're doing the OET. So anyone who knows about the OET, they can also share. I did the IELTS, that's why I'm sharing about the IELTS exam. So yeah, until our next video, let's continue on the journey of me being in the United Kingdom and also bringing the family over. So please do comment down below any questions that you might have. Please subscribe, and also please share this video with other nurses, because I'm also a nurse. This is a route for nurses. And also at a later stage, I would share other routes of coming to the United Kingdom when I'm in the right mind to share accurate information. So thank you so much, guys. Until our next video, bye bantase.